Hello and welcome to another episode of the Duffel Pod. I'm here with my husband, Ezra Chavezs.
What's up?
And today I am going to speak very clearly because I have found out that I mumble. Just kidding. I'm going to try to talk like I normally talk, but a little more clearly because I do mumble and I need to get better at that. And listening to the last couple podcast episodes, I've realized that I drift off at the end of my sentences. So, for your guys' sake, I'm a changed woman. I hope. I was starting to wonder if Ezra wore hearing protection when he worked. Because he does construction and he's around, like, power tools and this and that. Because Ezra would always say, What was that? Like, he could never really hear me sometimes when I thought I was speaking very clearly. And now my eyes have been opened to the fact that I just mumble all the time. And that's why Ezra had no idea what I was saying.
Your eyes have been opened and my ears have been opened.
Yes. My eyes have been opened and your ears have been open. Oh, that's funny. So, yeah, here we are. A new day, a new podcast. Poor Ezra is a little bit under the weather. We have a sick toddler.
That was fake.
Max has passed the love on to Ezra, and now Ezra's...
It's more of just a fatigue, really.
Fatigue.
Yeah. Oh, and a sore throat, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't feel, like, sick. You know, I don't have a headache. You know, I don't...
You're running a fever.
Yeah, I'm not running a fever. It's just, like, I'm really tired. Like, I was wondering why I was so tired today when I had come back from railroad days. Because I felt like I just needed to take a nap. And I was like, I never feel like this. And I was looking back on my, like, sleeping pattern, like, this past week, and I was like, I didn't stay up super late. And I didn't wake up much earlier. I actually didn't even go play basketball in the morning because I was...
Yeah, that's true.
Just wanted to spend more time doing other things, I guess. I forget why, but yeah, so it was actually kind of a normal week.
Yeah,
and
maybe
woke
more...
up today and was like, wow, I'm exhausted. And then once I had a piece of chocolate at railroad days, my throat began to kind of get a little itchy. And then I was like, well, I think that did it.
Yeah. I have this vivid memory a long time ago at Christmas. Not to go down memory lane, but...
Rabbit trail.
Going down a rabbit trail. I was probably like 14. And I remember it was around Christmas. I was kind of feeling maybe like you are right now. Just kind of sick, but not like super committed to being sick. And I ate like 2 chocolate-covered cordial cherries.
Oh,
do you know what those are?
Yeah.
I mean,
they're so gross.
They're so good.
Nasty.
Honestly, I used to love them. Yeah, I don't know if I'd like them now because they're basically just sugar, liquid sugar.
It's not even a real cherry.
It's not. It is a real cherry.
I feel like it's like covered in preservatives.
That's true.
Like fake
and it's kind
syrup.
of like dyed. It's like dyed
Fake
red
syrup.
or whatever. Probably. Yeah.
I don't know. There probably are good ones, but I used to like them. Now I don't. Anyways,
yeah,
finish.
I used to like them, and maybe I don't now either. But anyway, yeah, I got a super bad sore throat. Like, I felt like my throat was throbbing, like, with the pulse of my heartbeat.
I think it's the sugar.
So bad.
Right?
Yeah, maybe the sugar, like, just puts you over the edge.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like. So I was like, well, that was a mistake.
Yeah.
I had one Kit Kat.
So maybe your
Tiny
body is,
one.
like, your body's fighting it off, and you're just tired, and then you ate a Kit Kat, and your body's like, you know what? That Kit Kat was the last straw.
Yeah.
But, so anyway, Ezra's here, and... Thank you for being here, in spite of your sickness.
I mean, we're in our bedroom. My bed's right there.
Yeah, we're just hanging out. If you pass out, we'll just fling you out of the bed. Yeah. He died mid-podcast, but it's okay, folks. I'm still here. So we could just talk about our day. I spent the morning with my sister, Annie, because she was a bridesmaid at Suzanne Mole's wedding. And that was super fun. Did her hair, and... I also say a lot. I've probably said it like 20 times already. Ugh, I gotta get better. I did her hair, and it went very well.
Oh, boy.
It's gonna be a long episode. Nah, it was good. And then I came home.
Nah,
And,
it's good.
Nah, it's good, man. I came home and I was like, hey, what's up? See, there I go. So bad. And I was going to turn around and go back to the wedding. Poor Max has a runny nose, and he probably has a sore throat too, but he can't describe how he feels, so who knows how he really feels. And Ezra was like, we should work on the shed, which we had planned on doing, but I was just confused about the timing. And I'm really glad that I stayed home and did that, because that was really fun. Ezra's very patient. I'm a little bit afraid of the nail gun, just because it's like heavy and it's like pow, pow, pow. Like every time you shoot a nail, it's like really loud, and the nail gun like pops back, like it has a recoil, and I don't know, it just, something mental about it. It just scares me a little bit. So poor Ezra, I'm helping him do framing, and we're putting these studs in the frame. I don't really know how to describe it. And I was going so slow that Ezra started taking nails and hammering them in with an actual hammer on one side while I slowly was using a nail gun on the other side. So why don't you step us through your thought process with that?
Well, I mean, I knew I was going to have to do it at some point. When it was like 2 minutes of Emily using a nail gun on one. And then she was so timid that she would barely... So with the nail gun, there's like this weird... Maybe it's like 1/16 of an inch where you can like press the guard on the nail gun down so that you can pull the trigger. But like when you're scared, you kind of release it. And there's like this weird in-between spot where... it just barely shoots, probably like a couple pounds of pressure, and then the nail just like doink, like barely shoots into the wood and like stands out like 2 inches. And pretty much people who are green, rookies, that's who it happens to. Or you double shoot it, where it's like if you press it too hard. I'd say they're overconfident. You press super hard into it and you just pull it and you don't like let the gun kick back. But what Emily was doing was like, she was like kind of like pushing it in, but then like kind of pulling it back and pressing it. And then, when she hit that like, that's, I guess you could call it the sweet spot where it just like barely shoots in, and then they'd have to go in and hammer it. So anyways, I didn't want to discourage her and be like, give me that gun, and then start nailing. So I was like, I'm just going to start hammer nail. That's what I got.
Yeah,
so.
It was just embarrassing. I look over and Ezra's like just as far as I am, and he's using a hammer and nail.
You did speed up though.
I think that really motivated me. I was like, this is so bad. Like, it was pretty bad. Yeah. So, yeah, I tried. I have this fear with shooting guns as well, is I recoil before the recoil happens. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, bro, I go to pull the trigger and I'm like jerking the gun back. Oh, man.
You're just supposed to let the gun do its thing, and you just pull the trigger, and you keep your arm straight, but you leave your wrist loose. So that when you pull the trigger, your wrist kind of just pops back with the gun, but you just keep your forearm and your...
bicep.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what's the bone?
Your...
Tibula, fibula, that's right here. I don't even know. I'm not that smart.
Yeah.
It's not the femur.
It's not the... How'd you know I was thinking femur? I'm like, femur's in the leg, right?
So anyways.
Your scapula.
I have no idea.
It's your scapula.
I'm a little skeptical about that. Yeah.
Skeptical of the scapula.
Yeah. So anyways, you just let your wrist pop back, and it does the job.
I'll work on it. Yeah.
Yep.
But it was fun. Thanks for letting me help.
Yeah.
Yep. But it's a little bit of a slow go, and it was so hot today too.
It was really warm. It's warm in this room right now.
Yeah, it's very warm. We turned off the fan for you guys' sake, so you don't have to hear a fan in the background. But
we turned off the fans for our fans.
Turn off
or
the
fan. We don't even know if we have fans.
We have one fan. Thank you, Annie, for listening to our podcast. We are so committed.
The truth is revealed.
The truth is revealed, guys. It's 150 degrees in here. We're sick. We're on death's door, but we are here and committed for you.
And we're saved. So if we die, we go to heaven.
That's right. Yep. Go in heaven and we get an extra crown for our duffel pod.
So, no.
I'm just kidding. Oh, man. Hey, we're going to give it all to Jesus. Yep. So, yeah. So I wanted to talk about getting stung at Juan and Nadia's wedding. Ezra wasn't there for that, so
I was at the wedding.
are you gonna find a tongue twister while I
Already
tell the
found
story?
him.
Oh, you did? Okay, perfect. We'll do that after this story. So we're at the wedding, and it's going great. They get getting married. It's beautiful. It's like overlooking this golf course, and there were like mountains in the background, and it was a sunny day after like a week of solid rain. So it was great. Do you want to talk about our trip there, or should we just skip over that part?
Like solid rain or like liquid rain?
It was like
I'm just kidding. Sorry, keep going.
solid rain. I was trying to think of a good joke, like sheets of rain. Yeah. Imagine us as an ant farm, and we're living on the earth, and there's a giant toddler who takes a bucket of water and pours it over our ant farm. That's what it was like. Solid rain.
All right, I like it.
Or it could be like, yo, that rain was solid.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just like, get on with the story.
I don't want to have to turn this into a debate. I'm just kidding.
Our next Kid Guy debate. Solid rain. Can I tell about going there, or should we skip that part?
Wait, what? Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay, so
Oh, yeah, I was just...
it's after church. We're like trying to get the kids together, whatever. We left Max at home because he tends to be a wedding crasher.
Oh, are you talking about our story, like, on the way there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Do you wanna
yeah.
tell it?
No,
Okay.
really, tell it, yeah.
It's mostly on me.
No, it's
So
me.
we're getting out the door, and I decide, like, Naomi needs to wear this outfit, and then I can't remember if I had to change her diaper or what, and then this and that, and I have my shoes on. I just wasn't ready. So we get out the door late. Ezra's, like, in the car, ready to go, waiting for me to show up. So I finally show up, and we head out, and we thought the wedding started half an hour before it actually did start. And we're rushing there, and I think I might have been the last person to drive the car. Well, the car was really low on gas, and the wedding was like an hour away. So we're just soaring down the freeway, and I was just like, okay, we're going to have to get gas. So we stopped to get gas. Then we miss our exit because Ezra's co-pilot was completely distracted and was not paying attention, also known as me. And so we go soaring past our exit. Well, it's like out in Snoqualmie, which if you aren't familiar with the area, it's like a pass that you're going over into eastern Washington. And the exits are not super close together.
It's like half a mile in between each one.
Yeah. So it was like a 5-minute detour that we took.
And we were doing I was...
Oh no.
I was part of the Hooga Chugga Hooga.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I felt a little like a part of the wedding, kind of, even though if I
Right.
wasn't there, it did not matter at all.
Yeah.
But I wanted to fulfill my commitment to Juan and Ooga Chugga-ing.
Right. What song was that called? Maybe we'll put a little snippet in here for you guys.
In your arms so tight, don't let me know everything's alright. What kind of feeling?
Yeah, Ezra and all the guys were supposed to stand up. Or not all the guys. All of his friends. There were some poor gentlemen in the crowd who had no idea what was going on, but they all kind of stood up together anyways. They were all going to stand up and do this one ooga chugga part of the song. So yeah, we were trying to get there on time because Ezra was supposed to do this thing for Juan. It was going to be super awesome. And we're running late, so we take a 5-minute detour, and then we get back on the freeway to go the other direction because we missed our exit, and the traffic is backed up on that exit. So then we're just like stopped and sitting there, and I was like, this is like the worst. Like, we could have been there right now. We're just sitting there.
It was just a busy day, so for me it was like, there's so many little things I could have said. So I was just like, well, it's better to not say anything than say something that might be rude.
Right.
You know, so
Yes.
you know,
To your co-pilot who blew it.
Well, yeah, I was like, okay, it's not your fault. It's like we're a team. So
Right.
if we're late, it's because of both of us. You know, I could have helped get the kids together sooner. Anyways, all these things are going through my mind. I was like, well, I know there have been situations where it's like you just say something and then you regret it, you know, because it was like rude. Like, oh, wow, you couldn't have done this sooner? Or
Right.
like, why didn't you get the kids together? You know, I didn't. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I said
No,
anything like
you
that.
didn't. No.
You know, and I was just trying to, like, think of James, you know, but everyone must be slow to speak and slow to anger, you know? So I was like, okay, I just need to not say anything. Even though inside I was like a little upset and like annoyed, but I knew it wasn't just you, it was me too. So, anyways.
Well, you
like
were being very gracious. Well, long story short, we get to the wedding, and it's at a golf course, and we parked in the back, which was my fault as well, because the directions had us going around to the back. And it's just classic Chavezs.
Well, we saw Matt there, so thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. Well, we didn't see him as we pulled it. Oh, we saw his car.
We saw his
You're
car,
right.
sorry.
You're right. We did see his car. So
In
we kind
God
of,
we trust.
so God we trust. So we see Matt's car. We pull in next to Matt, and we go in the back. And there's all these caterers in the back. They're like pushing a cart. And Ezra was like, "Hey, is this like where the wedding entrance
Well, then I saw
is?"
this one guy. He was like talking to some person who works at the venue. He's like, hey, so, and he looked really nice. He looked like a groom. He's like, so where am I supposed to stand? And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Are we at the wrong spot? Because it was definitely not one.
It's the wrong wedding.
And then...
Yeah, did it turn out to be the violinist?
Yes.
Yes,
Yep.
that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, he did a very nice job. So yeah, we do show up, and there's this lawn with chairs in it, and a beautiful arbor. It's all set up for a wedding, and there's like not a soul in sight except all these caterers and the violinist who looked like a groom.
Right.
And we're like, yeah, Ezra was like, we might be at the wrong wedding. And then one of the caterer ladies was like, yeah, just go up these back stairs. So we like dash up the stairs. Meanwhile, we think we're like 5 minutes late to like a wedding starting.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, maybe the wedding's like inside upstairs somewhere. So we go in to this dining area, and who do we see but Matt and Tanner, and they're just like chilling in the corner, just like not a care in the world. So we find out we were half an hour early.
Yep.
But you know what? That might be a new...
Excuse me. That's a real cough.
Could you not cough on our podcast, please?
Sorry.
Just kidding. So yeah, maybe our new thing is we're just going to pretend that weddings are half an hour before they actually are. And then your wife will be able to pull herself together and show up on time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, anyway, long story short, I was like, why am I telling this
Yeah.
story? Nobody cares.
That'd be so
about
sad
this
after
wedding.
the podcast. You're like, you gotta be kidding me.
I'm like, no, the whole goal of my story is wasted. Okay, so wedding's great. They're married. They're off taking pictures, I think, and everyone's just kind of chilling outside. And we had Naomi with us, and poor Naomi, she did so great, and she was just happy as a lark. And it was time to eat, so I sat kind of in the back row where the wedding was, and I was nursing her. And there were some bees flying around kind of during the ceremony. I think Annie got stung.
Oh, yeah, I killed one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
When we were sitting there waiting?
I did. Yes. Yep. Before
Okay.
the wedding, before the ceremony actually started.
Yeah, he caught it in between his teeth as it was flying by. I'm just kidding.
Snapped his neck. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so there's some bees just hanging out. Nothing super crazy, but poor Annie got stung before the wedding even started. And Annie's like maybe 40% allergic to bees. Like, she's not fully committed to being allergic, but she's like kind of allergic. So her arm, anyway, I don't think it swelled up super bad right then, but it was obviously like, ow, I got stung by a bee. Like, what a bummer. And so then after the ceremony, she's like, dude, I got stung by a bee. And I was like, no way, that's crazy. Like, there were some bees flying around, no big deal. So I'm nursing Naomi. I finish up, and I was like, hey, Annie, can you hold Naomi while I, like, take my nursing cover off? Because it's basically, like, this huge cloak that I have to wear. It's, like, a whole nother thing. And I go, and so I hand Naomi off, and I grab my huge cloak to, like, pull it over my head. And I got stung on my shoulder. So the bee was, like, hanging out underneath my cloak that I was nursing under. And I hand Naomi to Annie, and I feel this really sharp pain in my shoulder, like right on the outside. And I was like, ow, that kind of hurts. And it felt like someone pinching me really hard with like 2 thumbtacks.
Right.
You know, and it like hurt. But what's crazy is it didn't hurt super bad until I realized it was a bee. And then it was like the worst pain I'd ever felt. And it was like freaking me out. Because, you know, when there's a bee in your clothes, you're just like, mentally, that's just not a good place to be. So, and Mandy Halverson was there. So I'm standing with Annie and Mandy. There's Annie, Mandy, and Emily. Wow, we were quite the group. Anyway, so I kind of like screeched and I'm like, whip my nursing cover off, and I was like, oh, there's a bean! Yeah, so I got this little red welt, and Annie the next day, her arm swelled up pretty big.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she sent me a picture.
Oh,
it's like,
wow.
And Annie got stung kind of on her wrist, so her whole wrist was like swollen. And I was kind of thankful, but also a little bummed because my bee sting itched for like 2 days.
Let me see.
And it still kind of does a little bit. Yeah, it's right
Oh,
there.
yeah. Left a mark.
Yeah, I left a mark. And it itched really bad, but it didn't really swell up at all. And I was like, man, I might get more sympathy for it if it had swollen.
Swollen? You say swollen?
I said swollen.
Swollen up? Oh, it's swelled up.
If it had swelled up. Anyway, that's my bee sting story. So yeah, it was a fun wedding, and both Annie and I got stung by a bee.
Except for me, I killed mine.
And Ezra killed his. The bee was coming after you, and you're like, dominate. Cool.
I destroyed him.
You destroyed him.
Okay.
I can't remember why we were talking about tongue twisters the other day, but Ezra was like, I think I was just tripping over my words and something like I tend to do. And Ez was like, hey, we should like make up our own tongue twisters. That'd be so crazy. And I was like, oh yeah. And then we like went about our day. And I was vacuuming, and I thought of this tongue twister while I was vacuuming. Because vacuuming
made one up?
is a very good time to just make up things in your mind. I think I came up with the name for this podcast while I was vacuuming. So yeah, vacuuming is a good time to think of things. All right, so here's my tongue twister.
So don't be too impressed then.
Yeah, don't be. It might be really easy to say. Who knows? Willy Wonka wrote a hocus pocus notice about an Oompa Loompa Zumba.
Okay. You want me to... Can I read it?
Yeah, you can read it.
Is that how tongue twisters work? Can you read them?
Can you read them? Yeah, I think you can. You just have to try to say it fast.
Willy Wonka... I want to say whoa. Willy Wonka wrote a hocus pocus notice about an Oompa Loompa Zumba.
Nice. I don't know.
Willy Wonka, whoa. That's what I'm going to say.
Willy Wonka wrote. There's
Willy Wonka
something
wrote.
about tongue twisters that you have to get, like, certain vowels going. Because Willy Wonka wrote is really good. But I think the rest of it just kind of flows, even though it rhymes. Willy Wonka wrote. Because you have to change your mouth for wrote.
Okay.
Everybody try it at home.
A flea and a fly flew up in a flue.
A flea and a fly flew up in a flue.
Wow, you're good. A big black bug bit a big black bear.
A big black bug bit a big black bear. That one's hard.
Glue, glue, gun, green, glue, gun.
Glue, glue, gun, green, glun.
Man, I thought of Barney Fife for some reason. Blue, glue, gun, green, glue, gun. Man, that just, like, brings back an episode to
Yes,
my mind.
I think that didn't Opie lose his 2 front teeth? And Barney's like, Sally sells seashells by the seashore.
Oh, yeah, that's
And-
right.
And he's like, yeah, I used to nail that back in my childhood.
Oh,
or
yeah.
whatever. And,
Yeah.
and then he's like, see if you can do it, Ope. And then Opie said it, like, perfectly. And Barney, like,
Oh,
couldn't.
yeah.
Barney was trying to, like, recite it, too, and he couldn't.
Yes.
Was it something like that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Fred fed Ted bread, and Ted fed Fred bread.
Okay, do you want to try that
Fred
again?
fed Ted bread, and Ted fed Fred bread.
Fred fed Ted bread, and Ted fed Fred bread.
Nice.
Whew.
Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy wuzzy. Oh, you know that one?
Yeah, we used to recite that.
Oh, wow.
Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't really fuzzy wuzzy.
Give Papa a cup of proper coffee and a copper coffee cup.
I'd have to read that.
Greek grapes.
Great grapes?
Greek grapes.
Greek grapes.
Okay. Good blood wow. Good blood, bad blood.
Good blood, bad blood.
He threw 3 balls through the tall trees.
He threw 3 balls through the tall trees.
How can a clam ram...
How can a young man keep his...
Yeah, exactly. How can a clam cram in a clean cream can?
Okay.
Ooh, the next one looks hard.
Am I supposed to say that?
Yeah.
How can a clam cram in a can of cranberries?
In a clean cream can.
In a clean cream can.
How many cans can a canner can if a canner can cans? A canner can as many cans as a canner can if a canner can cans.
Oh, wow. How many cans can a canner can if a canner can cans? Can a canner cans can?
Sure.
Cans?
Here, you read it.
Guys,
Guys,
I'm trying to do
because
this
it's just
off of memory.
can. That's it.
Can you do that? Can. I'm trying to find it on. Oh. How many cans can a canner can if a canner can cans? A canner can as many cans as a canner can if a canner can.
That was not that hard.
Yeah, it's true. Can you come up with a tongue twister on the spot? Okay.
Oh, I got one.
Okay.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck?
Well, I'm looking at my notes here. We are about half an hour in, so we can wrap it up because it is so warm. I'm feeling very warm.
Yeah, it is very warm in here.
Let's see. I wanted to talk a little bit about apple picking because I have a little video to put in here for you guys. But, yeah, it was fun. I went apple picking with Amanda and Russell, and Gretchen and Colin and Piper were all at the place we went apple picking because we went apple picking at Gretchen's parents' house, and that was super fun. And a funny story is they have these two, so they live by a thoroughbred ranch where they like breed horses, and there's all these amazing beautiful thoroughbreds running around, and back behind their house there were these two horses that I thought maybe were just like old retired thoroughbreds just like hanging out in the back or something. And so we go over there, and Gretchen's mom is like, oh yeah, this is Bo, and he's like 25 years old, and he got an infection in his eye, and then he lost like part of his eyeball, so he's blind on one side of his eye, and this and that. And then this over here is let's say Serenity, and you know, she's 27, and you know, she's like old 4-H horse and blah blah. And I'm like, how does Gretchen's mom know so much about these horses that are like at a ranch next to where they live? Like, she knows like their life story. And I was trying to be polite and not really like ask too many questions. So I was like, oh, like that's so cool. I'm like, maybe she's just like a horse person that absolutely loves knowing all about horses' lives. Well, it turns out that those are Gretchen's horses. So they have two horses at their house, and the pastures were kind of like back to back with the thoroughbred farm. So I thought that these two random horses were just like thoroughbreds that Gretchen's mom had adopted, like learned all about. And it turns out that they have had them for most of their lives, so that's how she knows all about these two horses. So that was cracking me up. I think that's pretty much it. Do you have anything else to add here at the end?
You know New York, you need New York, you know you need unique New York. Goodbye.
That was amazing. All right, have a good week, you guys. See ya.
See ya.